with me. Baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle. You gotta rub me the right way. Ah. Look at that. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come on and let me out. Never understood that shit. Like, even as a kid, like when I was the right age, you know, when that shit came out, when Britney came out, the whole schoolgirl thing. You know how fucked up that is? You know, the Aerosmith video where he uses his own daughter and they fucking do a striptease, and Alicia Silverstone is 15, I think, in the movie or in the video. You know, and then there's Alicia Silverstone's like breakout role, Alicia Silverstone, where she's 15 and playing and seducing the you know, Men in Tights guy, Carrie, whatever his name is, I don't know. But like, it's so strange because even my wife, like when we first got together, you know, when she was like, you know, what do you want to do, like kind of stuff like that. Oh, I know, I have the same shirt on before we start talking about it because I put the shirt on before I did the video yesterday, and then I'll shower after this video. So I know people like to focus on things like that, so let's just address it. But like when I got with my wife, I was like, hey, let's not do the shaved pussy thing because I don't want you looking like you're 12. And no, we don't need to do the schoolgirl thing because that's fucking weird. Like that fantasy is always that it's the schoolgirl and you're like the teacher or the principal or whatever, and she's been a naughty girl who needs to be punished. Who the fuck? Why is that such a common thing? That's gross. That's fucking gross, yo. Who was like, yeah, schoolgirls in the little uniforms? Because I mean, it's not like people go, oh man, Angus Young is so sexy. Look at how Angus Young in his schoolboy uniform. Look how sexy he looks. That wasn't a thing. That didn't take off. No girl in the world is like, hey, can we get you one of those Angus Young schoolboy uniforms? And you're the bad kid and I'm the principal and I'm going to teach you a lesson. Ooh. I watched more of Hollywoodism, and it's eye-opening, even more than I expected. It all connects back to the Jays. Yes. Yeah, my wife and I watched half of it yesterday. We're going to watch the other half today. And it was funny because, I don't want to talk about it too much till she gets here. I want her to be involved in the conversation. But then again, if I say it and then she reiterates it, then it kind of, it truthifies it. Because I'm not just selling porky pies if she then says the same shit. But the funny thing is, like after about 20 minutes, she goes, so it's all just going to be J propaganda then? And she was like bored and like, why the fuck are we watching this? This is all just, we know all this stuff. We already know the pogroms and the bullshit and all that. She was kind of like, why are you making me watch this shit? This isn't the visionary. This isn't the end all be all video that you said it was. And I was like, just wait. You got to get through the shitty part. Like, there's a lot of that shitty part. But then you realize what they're saying. That there is no American dream. It's the J dream. And that our reality is their reality. The reality they programmed for us. They repeatedly say this. They repeatedly emphasize this. And it's like I said, it's eye-opening. I mean, I don't know, unless you don't want to see it, I guess. I don't really know. But then when you connect it to the genocide, and you connect it to, all the shit that's happening today, it just totally makes... I forgot the one thing. There was something that I paused the video, and I looked up something else, and I was like, you see how that works? What the fuck was it? I don't remember. She'll remember, hopefully. I can't believe I can't remember what that was. I mean, but it literally is. It's so much deeper than you guys realize. And it's purposeful. It's purposefully obfuscated so that you don't realize just how deep and yet simple. It's very simple. One of the like cornerstones of the illusion is that the Goyim, us, think that it's some sort of supernatural, complicated, difficult to understand, just anything. It's like they want you to think it's way more than it is. It's the devil. It's the supernatural devil and the supernatural God and the clashing in the heavens and it's aliens from other planets and they fly through the universe with their special technologies. It's it's the Illuminati. It's Miranda Cosgrove. Don't know what that is. But it's we end up thinking it's all this Freemasons and the New World Order and the Illuminati and all these groups and all this shit and the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, and you end up thinking it's just this crazy thing. But then when you watch it, you realize it's not difficult, it's not complicated. It's very simple. The Jays control everything, and they use Hollywood to do so. Or they have used Hollywood. It actually does connect all the angles. It does. I pride myself on being right and not being able to be debunked very easily and look like a fool. And yet, people still want to act like somehow I'm wrong. When it's like I'm begging you to show me how I'm wrong. I'm begging you to watch the evidence that I'm going to present to you, and I'm presenting it. I'm telling you, here, go watch this movie. Go watch this. It has a nice, there's visual representation. It's not me saying it. It's them saying it. Like all of these aspects. Go watch it and see if it doesn't debunk or at least validate everything that's being said and all the claims. Do you remember what it was that I paused? I paused Hollywoodism and I was like, here, look at this. And we went and watched a different video and I was like, check. Remember? God damn it. She was sleeping most of the time.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you were in and out. How do you not? I was like...
Wait. No. I remember seeing that, and what the other video was.
It was a common video.
It was about...
It was about how it all connects.
Yeah,
And it was the exact same thing that they say. I just don't remember what it was. I had a big comment above that name. That's why it didn't let me fit it all in. I don't see the big comment. I read all your comments, at least the ones I see. Yesterday we learned about miasma. And I think that's fucking insane. You know? And it's all 1880s, and that had something to do with that too, with the 1880s and how everything just changed, and the Rockefellers and all. Like, it's all there. You know, the one part of the video, so talk about what you said, how you felt.
About what?
Hollywoodism.
I mean, I was getting mad.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot of propaganda.
Well, it starts that way. Yeah, right. That's what I said.
You know, we only got through the first half, so we still have the second half to watch. But the first half was all...
The first quarter. The first 20 minutes.
Poor Jews, and they lived in slums, and nobody liked them, and they weren't allowed to get good jobs.
They weren't allowed in banking. They weren't allowed in any... They weren't allowed in banking. They weren't allowed in the medical field. They weren't allowed to be judges in the law field. Like, what?
All the shit that they now, like, totally control.
Right.
They weren't allowed to do.
They weren't allowed to.
Like, it was all just such bullshit. I felt like I was in history class, and that's why I kept falling asleep, because that's what I used to do in history class, and that's why they would send me to go do gymnastics instead.
Whoa.
Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
It really is. But it's not. No, that's the real history, though. The bullshit is the shit that we're given. And this, you have to watch this. Like, there were plenty of times during the video where, again, it's like, one, she's in and out, so, but two, like, I would say, did you see this? And she'd be like, no, or whatever. And it's like, or she'd say something and then it'd be like, no. It's just take it that next level deeper and understand that it's you know, the way that you think is created by this system. Like, it's so fascinating how obvious they are about it. And how braggadocious they are about it. And then at the same time, if I were to say the same shit, if I made that movie, it would be destroyed. No studios would ever, nothing. I wouldn't be able to make the movie. I said, I'm a Goyim person of color. I want to remake Hollywoodism, starring people of color, talking about, instead of us, we say them. Would that be okay? Do you think that would fly?
Well, and then they kept, you know, comparing them to blacks and the racism.
The plight of black people.
You know, that black people were struggling against. And it was like, no.
One of the opening sort of things after they get through the propaganda bit is, this guy is saying that he's talking about how the films from before the Jay takeover, you know, made by Edison and whatnot, put people in negative showed different races and negative stereotypes. And there was one movie in particular called, like, the fights or battles between the races or something like that, battles of the races, and it apparently showed how different races fight each other. I don't know, it's fucking stupid, but he's like, look at how they show the blacks, and they show first he says, look at how they show the Jays, and the Jays, the guys are arguing, and they're not, like, everybody else is fighting, and the Jays are doing this weird circle jerk thing where they're like, they're not fighting. Well, the cop comes to break it up and get them in trouble, but the Jay pulls a bunch of money out of his pocket
and bribes
the cop, and then as the cop goes to walk away, the Jay pulls the money back and it comes back into his pocket.
String tied on the money.
Right, he had string on the money and he yanked it back.
Stupid to notice a string hanging.
The Goyim cop, right?
You know, So as the cop walked away, he just pulled the string and the money came out of the...
Right, and then the people all like laughed about it. And he was like, look at how they show the Jays.
Outsmarted.
They show the Jays in this way where they, they have all the money. And they're cheap about it, and they bribe the cops to get out of trouble.
And then outsmart them and take it back.
And then he's like, and here, look at how they show the blacks. And the blacks are drinking, they're fighting with razors, they're dancing, it's like all these like goofy stereotypes. When your stereotype is that you have all of the money, that's not a negative stereotype. The only reason that's negative is because it shows that you could change things. You could make things different if you wanted to, but you choose not to.
Else.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Right.
You gotta have a good day too, of course. Okay. But yeah, no, if you say that these people have all the money, then automatically, subconsciously, at the very least, you're going to think, well, who'd they take it from? How come nobody else has it? How come they just have it? Like it's just
that's interesting to me. I'm glad you said that, because that's not how I think, but
subconsciously you do. I guarantee you do.
No, I don't. I don't think who'd they take it from. I think, like, to me,
how come they have it and the other people don't?
Because they print the money, and they print the money for us to fight over it. It's not for them to have it, it's for us not to have. That's what money is.
Even you drive through nice neighborhoods, like, how do they have these houses and other people don't? It's just a natural thought process.
Right, but I'm not arguing with you, and I'm saying that's interesting that's, you represent. I'm sure a lot of people think that same way. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying I don't think that way. I think about it differently. And there's nothing wrong or right with either one. I just, when it comes to money, I got over the money thing a long time ago. People always tell you to chase the money. The system tells you to chase the money, follow the money, follow the money.
There's a breaking story today in Detroit. So Dugan came through and said that there was all of this housing for homeless people, shelters and whatnot.
They don't have to pay interest.
A mom with her 2 kids called the homeless hotline yesterday because she was sleeping in the casino parking structure with her kids. Her fucking kid died. And it's breaking news this morning now because there are people outside that have absolutely fucking nothing, and they call the hotline, emergency hotline. My child is dying of hypothermia. I got to get him inside somewhere warm. And they get turned away. Yet we have people that throw $1 million fucking parties. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean that's different, but yeah, that's not. yeah, but that's a symptom. We're talking symptoms at this point. We're definitely not talking about causes. And it's scary because, the majority of us are a couple of bad decisions, unfortunate circumstances away from that. I mean, it's a nightmare. It really is a nightmare.
All those people in California, a dude that had been through a big fire like that several years back, he put out a bunch of pointers right when the fires happened about like what you could do to make the process faster. He said you have to expect 18 to 24 months before you have your house rebuilt. Now that doesn't matter for the fucking celebrities, but all of those people that are like us, just average blue collar people that were the majority of the people affected by the fires, they have nowhere to go. No money, no nothing. 18 to 24 months. And that's not even a bad decision they made.
That's if it works out for them,
right.
Too.
Like,
yeah.
Yet we've got,
We're giving Israel $3.8 billion a year and $18+ billion since October 7th, 2023. I can't even imagine why anyone would think giving Israel money to murder people is better than helping all the people who have lost their homes. And you know, obviously, California is a terrible, tragic situation. I guess we've just completely forgotten about Appalachia, whatever. The Appalachian Mountains and how the hurricane, the fucking hurricane from the ocean fucked up all those Appalachians. And that shit is just gone. Nobody's talking about that. Why isn't anybody talking about that shit? I think it's pretty clear you're on the payroll. You didn't have to say that. And I think if you think you say that, that sort of makes things look foolish. But obviously, you're not that big of a piece of shit. You're just a piece of shit. That's all your whole thing is, that you're just a piece of shit person? Is that what you're acknowledging?
The hurricane that hit North Carolina, those people are all still displaced.
That's what I'm saying, the Appalachians. It's not just North Carolina. It's all throughout the mountains. All those people are just fucked. And it's not like they have fucking hurricane insurance.
Oh, so-and-so lost their $4 billion house. They have 4 other houses. They have money to rebuild and don't need the insurance money. But oh my God, those poor people, they lost everything.
No, I do feel bad for those people. I feel bad for, I mean, like, we love to demonize the rich, and it's not the rich. Those people worked really hard to get what they had, you know. There was, I mean, not all of them, obviously, but there are some. And there's probably really amazing artifacts and history that got burnt up in that shit, and irreplaceable things. Like,
fire's tragic no matter what.
It's tragic. But it's I 100% see what you're saying. And again, this is why do we have this?
Shouldn't be that way.
I absolutely like 100%, as 100% as you can be. Like, you can't be any more than 100%. But like, not even a 99.99999, no, 100% think that $3.8 billion a year would be much better spent on helping Americans than it would be helping Israel murder people.
Things, though, like, and I know you felt like I was bringing it up, it wasn't related, but all of these things are what lead to.
No, I didn't think it wasn't related. I just thought it was a different subject, but that's all related. No, it is.
All of it explains why it's bad for a group to say they have all the money, because then these situations come up. The natural progression of thinking is, well, they have all the money. Can't they just take care of it? Can't they help? And they're not going to. So that's why it's not.
Again, I wouldn't even think that. Like, when we're talking about the Jays, that's not a way I would think.
If we admit we have all the money, then when bad shit happens, they're going to come to us.
I mean, but we all know that they're not going to. That wouldn't even. Them having the money means they could make things better. That's all it is. It's a broader statement than you're being more specific, but it's a broad statement. If they have the money, they could make things better, and they choose not to. Simple. If you have the power and you say, okay, well, the world works in a very, controlled way. Laws, regulations, all that kinds of shit. Who sets those laws? Why is it California has the most lax laws when it comes to statute of limitations? It just happens to be where Hollywood is. And then it's who controls Hollywood, and who controls Hollywood controls the world. They control the government. It's not the other way around. So you guys are socialist. There's never been socialism. When you talk about socialism, you talk about like this Russian bullshit that you were told was socialist. It's crazy how people just don't understand.
And it's not about like a complete equal disbursement of wealth. It's not that. It's the basic needs should be covered. Shelter, food, clean water, and the ability to go work if you want.
We're in different places on that. I personally, I think no one should have to work. No one should have to work. Most of the jobs can be done by machines, and as time progresses, the jobs that can't be will be, keep getting done by machines. And our lives should be spent living. We shouldn't have to worry about food. We should, and the thing is, like, the desire to cultivate and have, I want the big house, I want the big stuff, I want this, that, and the other.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, but if you didn't have your situation, you wouldn't be able to do that. Right? If you didn't have a situation where you had servants to clean and take care of your space, you probably wouldn't have such an insane space. And if we were taught from the beginning that value was in your contribution, not the stuff that you had, but the contributions you made. Like, the revolution has to be across the board. It can't be, this part and that part. We sort of have to say, all right, like, we're going to change the way we think about things. We're going to change, how we think, not what we think. Because what we think changes with how we think. But I don't think the situation that's been created, this 40-hour work week and all this other shit. I mean, according to history, the most impressive people the planet's ever seen, the people who could build massive structures in a year or two, massive ornate structures with columns and granite and the pre-civilization, whatever they were, those people weren't working 40-hour work weeks. Those people weren't, there wasn't the system like it is now, and yet they were still apparently, I mean, again, that's if we believe the narrative we're given. You guys, I just set the camera on my nuts. See that? How you like me now? How you like me now? How me now? Just a little off. Just a little bit more. They say we're going to get some crazy snowstorm today, but I doubt it. Gosh, it's fucking stupid. Look at all these dumb comments. I don't even bother reading them. Because I already know they're not going to say anything that matters. Ooh, my body's saying, let's go. Ooh, but my heart is saying no.
The thing is,
I dropped the boys off, and as I did, I was singing Genie in a Bottle really, really loudly as they walked all the way up. I opened the window, and I just kept singing.
Well, all the kids think that all you do is yell at them and beat them daily.
Of course.
They're quite hilarious.
I beat them all the time.
But the thing is, like, you keep saying that this is the year of honesty, and I disagree.
I haven't said that in a while, but I mean that. You're right. I was saying that, and I need to say it more.
I disagree. I think this is the year of unity, because they are doing everything they can to divide us in every single way. That is part of the purpose of
how do you create unity?
Trump's machine gun fucking nonsense that's been going on since he took office.
How do you create
It's
unity?
to continue to divide us. If you divide us, keep us divided, you can control us.
Absolutely. But how do you create unity? You create unity through honesty. What are
Not
you
in all
suggesting, that
cases.
we lie to people? We're not going
No.
to create any sort of realistic unity if we're
No, I
lying.
think that you need to unify before you can really smack everybody
But how
with the
do you
truth.
unify?
Through compassion, through
None of that's worked.
humanity.
If that was the case, it would have worked by now.
But people weren't struggling before like they are
Fuck
now.
yeah, they have been.
They have, but
Yes,
not like
they
they
have.
are now. And now when these parents start seeing their daughters not getting jobs, the people.
You are exaggerating this thing that Trump's. You're talking about something that hasn't happened. You're talking about something that hasn't happened.
Since he did that,
and
she got written up twice. They're trying to get rid of her.
She got written up twice. That's just nothing to do with federal anything.
It's the unleashing of the employers to do whatever they want to women and people of color.
That's not what's okay. But she got written up because she was doing shit she shouldn't have been doing. You're talking about someone in a way that we both know is not who they are. Of course, there's some that like.
We're gonna see all of this.
You're so much more concerned with this doomsday dystopian fucking nightmare that you're talking about instead of, trying to figure out why it is the way it is. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know how this is gonna work. And again, saying that she got written up twice because it's been longer than since he took over. And again, I'm surprised.
My point is, people are struggling more, and it's getting worse. Things are getting worse.
It's not getting worse. It's been just as bad forever. I mean, it's worse now than it was. There's like give and take. Like, so much is worse. Back then, life was worse, but you could pay for it. Nowadays, life is a lot better, but you can't pay for it.
And the pensions are going away, and it's people are starting to struggle more, and that's why I think
if struggle was going to work
better now than it would 15 years ago.
If struggle was going to work, then 1929 would have brought about.
There was a ton of unity.
The revolution.
There was. People finally were going back to barter systems, helping each other, making sure that all their neighbors ate too.
What are you talking about? Based on what? What are you basing this on?
Based on my great-grandparents and grandparents that were here and lived through it.
Yeah, again, we're talking about stories that you were given as it's hard to do because I don't want to insult anything. But you were a child. You were given.
Yaya died when I was 19.
And you and Yaya did not talk about what life was like.
Yes, I did all the time. I loved it. I loved those stories. When Brown Yaya was born, they couldn't afford a crib. She slept in the drawer of a dresser.
Great. I don't care. What does that have to do with any of this? Like you take these in all these crazy directions, and that's that. If unity was. You're saying that it's unity, it's not honesty. So I'm saying, how do we get unity? Well, through struggle. Struggle is always here. People are always struggle. How do we unify the people? The only way we can unify people is through honesty. People being honest about everything. We need to be honest with each other, how we feel, how we see things, what we're experiencing, and what is actually going on. If we're not honest about the Trump, the J-controlled government, it doesn't matter what we do. It's never mattered. It's been proven time and time again. It doesn't matter what we do.
However, if you lead with that, you're not going to unify the people. People are still too brainwashed.
If there was another way to do it, it would have been done. This is the thing that they've told us not to do. This is the thing that we've all grown up understanding, that if you say these things, everybody's going to get mad at you. You can't talk about this. You could talk about this, that. Just don't talk about this. Why do you think everything they've done is to keep us from being honest about who they are and how they control things? Because if we did know, if we were honest about it, it would unify us.
Well, because of the fantastic job they've done, you know, brainwashing people over the generations, you have to gently lead people to that conclusion.
Again, I don't have to do shit. Everybody's been trying. Everybody's been trying to gently do this. That you are saying a bunch of stuff, but you're not coming up with any sort of.
My mom was a great example. Like trying to smack her in the face with that conclusion wasn't working. But when I gently led her and showed
your mom
her
is a completely different case.
To that conclusion, then she was like, "Holy shit, you're right." Yeah. Oh my God, I see it.
There are plenty of people that you can do that specified, you know, that kid glove version with. But that takes way too long. That's way too difficult, and I don't have the time to individually cater to everybody's little whim, everybody's specific little shit. The truth is, we have to be honest. So if I say my part and you can't honestly debunk it, if that doesn't wake you up, well, it's going to keep you up at night. You know, you can go about your business, you'll probably come back. But until the things that I'm saying are shown to be wrong, I'm not going to stop. And I'm going to just say how it is. I'm so tired of everybody beating around the bush. It hasn't worked. You know, you have to force people to be uncomfortable. You have to force people to realize their contribution before anything can change. And if you can sit there and go, well, you know, I'm not over there committing genocide, just like it's not me being, you know, the genocide committed against. So well, if that's you, if you can be comfortable with that, then please explain to me how you do that. You know?
Because it doesn't affect them and theirs.
But it does. It absolutely does. Your American tax dollars are spent in crazy levels over there and not given back to you. And when your pension gets taken or whatever ends up happening, understand that's you know, there's plenty of money, plenty of everything out there available to you, but it's given to the Jays instead.
It's also given to NASA. It's also given like that.
Jays across the board. You can come up with all the different names you want, but let's talk about who's at the top of those systems. Again, I'm telling you, this is final boss shit. If you're not ready, like, look at it like a video game. Look at that, the Flatiron Building. If you're not, or that's not even it. That's just a different version. If you're not, like, if you haven't played levels 1 through 9, there's not a, you know, you're probably not going to do very well on level 10.
And most people haven't.
Right.
That's why I'm saying, like, you have to. There's going to be a large group of people, large percentage of people.
I don't care.
That you have to lead to that group.
Well, then there are other people.
Show them the way.
There are other people that can do that part. You know, I'm sorry that you know, you're like, I want to get tan, but the sun is too bright. Well, then I guess you're not going to get tan. You have to figure something out. The sun's not going to change for you.
That's why there's different levels of sunblock to work you up to that.
Well, then that's what you need to do. But if you're here, you're going to hear the honest truth. If it's too high level for you, I mean, why are you here? Why have you been drawn here? What's the reason why you happen to be here? Okay, well, that's how this works.
If you're the pioneer,
If you want this, then you have to do this my way. I'm not doing this your way anymore. Sorry. There's really no way to even do like so it's like, okay, we can't talk about the pedo. So okay, so how about this? How about we say, okay, you know how mommies and daddies sometimes do things? Okay. Well, has anybody ever done a mommy and daddy thing to you that you didn't want to happen? And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm 35. Why are you talking to me like that? Well, I just want to ease you into this because this is a difficult conversation.
Gross exaggeration.
It's not, because we're literally even talking about the same thing. It's just not happening to you. But that's what it is. I can't talk about the genocide that's happening, like genocide light. You know, diet genocide. Because for all those people that want to pretend like they're on a diet. You know, no, I'm losing weight. I drink Diet Coke. No. Give me that double cheeseburger, the large chili cheese fries. Can I get a side of bacon with that, please? Yeah, extra crispy. You know what? Can I change my salad out for something else, like some onion rings or something? Yeah, okay, great. Okay, and then give me a Diet Coke. I'm on a diet. Get the fuck out of here. You remember all this 20 years ago? I wish. No. I got a call. You know, I'm sorry, guys. If you want to find the diet version, go find it. I don't know who that is. I didn't find the diet version to get here. I had to, crawl my way through the mud. No, I didn't.
You learned all the shit as you went, and then you slowly got to the conclusion.
Exactly. So but I did not. No, I didn't. I didn't have somebody that I could look at and go, okay, this person is telling me the truth, but it's a little harder than I want to hear right now. So, I didn't have that. I had to do it myself. So if you're not going to do it yourself, you want to take advantage of my situation, of what I bring to the table, you should. And I think everything I'm saying that you have an issue with, you should debunk it. I highly encourage you to. Help me. I'm learning as much from you guys as you are from me.
It's not so much as debunk you, it's research it for yourself.
No, I want you to debunk me. I want you to use every resource at your command to try to debunk what I'm saying. Like I tell you guys, this isn't me. Like, I don't think, I look at this as training, and I compare this to fighting. And I look at this as training, and I'm training for that big fight when it does happen, when I finally get to address Congress or get on the news or whatever it is. I want to be sharp. I want to be in peak condition. So instead of surrounding myself with people who are just like, yo, you're great, champ, you're great, champ, yeah, champ, you're great, champ, I want to surround myself with people who are like, hey, you drop your fucking right hand down a centimeter too much when you throw your left hand. You know that you're leaving yourself open when you do this, when you do that. I want people that are overly critical, that are going to pick apart every little weakness I have, so that when I'm in that championship fight, those weaknesses can't be exploited. So whatever thing you think, whatever little hole, whatever weakness you think I have, fucking exploit it. Make me look stupid. Do to me what I do to you and your things. I'm a big boy. I can take it. I think that's the thing that people just don't get. Like, I'm not somebody to you that I'm not to myself, or to the people I love, or, or what I expect. I don't expect anyone to sit here and just agree with me. I'd like it if you could stay on topic. I'd like it if you could actually answer what I'm saying, because a lot of times people think that's what they're doing, but they're answering their own narrative. They're not answering what I'm saying. The idea of the whole unity versus honesty thing. I agree with unity, but you can't have unity without honesty. Well, you can. But then that's fake.
Once you unify everybody, then you can lead them all.
How do you unify them, though?
The truth,
but how do
and
you
then
unify?
take action.
But I get it. That's first step is we steal all the underpants. Step 3 is we take over the world. Well, what's step 2? Don't know. How do you unify people? Take advantage of their I tried, actually. The funny thing is I actually was thinking about doing the same thing, and the person that talked me out of it was her. Because I again, it was I should not necessarily deceive, but take advantage of the situation and use it to build the platform so that I could ease people into the other side of it. That was the purpose.
Yeah, but
I'm going to say that I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a fucking blazing Jesus above me. And he told me I've been wrong about everything and that I need to repent and serve him from now on. And that I shouldn't take down any of my stuff because people need to see the transition. People need to see what a sinner I was. So don't take any of your stuff down. Let people see it.
You're going to have to tell people that you lied about that, though. And so that's deception.
Exactly. So what you're saying is rose-colored glasses combined with unicorn poop, right?
No.
You want people. So I'm supposed to unify people through some method while not being totally honest and hitting people too hard with things.
I'm not saying not being totally honest. I'm saying not smack them with it before they're ready. Once you're...
How do you decide who's ready and when?
Because you'll have everybody unified. You'll have a congregation, so to speak.
But
so then you can preach to that
but
mass
how?
Of people and lead them to the
Sure.
the water,
you keep avoiding what I'm saying.
I'm not.
How do you unify the people?
Through compassion and humanity.
Through compassion and humanity, like what? Make sandwiches and shit? All right, now I made 5 people a sandwich. So now I've got 5 people on my team.
Everybody, if you sit people down and say, listen, the only way that we could change
Can't sit people down
is by unifying, by standing together. Everybody will agree to that. Once everybody
so you're saying nobody has ever said that we need to unify.
We have, but nobody has had the strength.
You're just being ridiculous. You're just arguing to arguing.
Martin Luther King did it.
You are just arguing to argue.
I'm not.
You are. You don't know what you're talking about. You're saying that I need to sit people down. So I'm going to go around and sit down with each individual person and say, you know what? I know you probably haven't heard this before, but we need to unify so we can make life better for everybody. And they're going to go, oh, shit. Oh, I never thought of that. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
what are we unified under? What banner are we unified under? What ideal are we unified under? What thing are we unified under that is stronger than the religious component, the patriotic component, the J control scheme that's been used for decades? Not only do we overpower that, we also create a new form of unity under the banner of unity. Come on, that doesn't make sense. The thing is, you have to attack what people already accept in order for them to have something new. You have to break down in order to build up, military style. That doesn't mean you do it mean. You don't have to be mean about it. I don't have to call you fucking horrible names and break down your person. But I am going to call your fucking cult horrible names and break that shit down. The only way you can combat it is forcing people. The best way to get somebody to do something is to force them to confront it. I know with my wife, the best way to win an argument is to go, you know what, forget it, I quit. As soon as I go, I quit, then whatever I was arguing, I get. You know what, forget it. And I'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You wanted it? Okay, I quit. No, You wanted it. And suddenly it turns into that every time. We're just fucking, we're programmed wrong. And that's, people just don't get it. We've been programmed wrong on purpose. And if we've been programmed wrong, that means we can be reprogrammed. We can be programmed correctly. Look at this dumb shit. Does anybody ever feel like the fucking, like, it's just crazy. How is it I am this important to people? You're correct about the J influence. I don't think we should be at APAC dogs of obedience. We have to get out. We fought their battles for their benefit for 20 years. Try almost 80 years. It was the United States and the Allies that created Israel in the first place. I think the majority are in agreement. They actually don't want you to believe it. Oh, I know. They're here. You have to think about it. Just think about how ridiculous it is that there are people here day after day talking weird, crazy shit about anything but what we're talking about because they hate me so much. If you don't see how silly that is, you're not paying attention. Speaking of resets, pedophiles, kill yourself.